Hi guys, it's Eileen from There's a Crafty Idea, and I'm back with a little flip through of my latest journal that will be going on my Etsy store. And this actually is one of the first journals that I made, and I've kept it. I made two that were almost practically the same, and I loved it so much I kept one for myself and used it, and I did intend to use this one as well, but the other one I made was quite a bit bigger than this one, which is saying something, and I'm still not even halfway through, so yeah. So I've decided to pop this one on my Etsy store. It is a beautiful journal and I absolutely adore it, but you know, you can't be greedy with these things. So it's quite a big one, and it's 2.5 inches, just over 6 centimeters wide on the spine. There are 6 signatures in here, and each of the signatures is a little bit thinner than I would normally do a signature, but I wanted to have different sections for different types of journaling, different ideas. If you can hear clicking, it's just my little Poochie wandering about while I'm filming. And the front is covered with fabric. The cover's covered with fabric, and it's quite a solid cover as well. And then I've just used these bits of beautiful fabric and a little lace, 2 little lace butterflies that I've coffee dyed and popped on. I hope you can see me. I'm trying to see if am I in? Yes, I am. Sorry about that. Right, so the end papers are, a lot of the papers I've used in here, there are lots of different papers, and I have used scrapbooking papers. Unfortunately, they've come from my stash, and I don't always have, I can't always remember the names of them. I've been collecting for years, so some of these papers I've had for years, and they've been taken out of the packs, and so forgive me if I don't give any names out. It's unfortunate, but I can't remember all of them. And I've used a lot of vintage ephemera that I've printed out and used in the book as well. And there's a lot of vintage pages, including this lovely music page. And then I've used a lovely book, and it was about medieval etiquette and life, which is fantastic. And I've used napkins to go over the top of some of the pages, and some of them I've left plain. And I've edge punched quite a bit in this book, which you'll see in different pages. This is a vintage handkerchief that I've used to create pockets, and in this one it's just a little parchment bag, and I've used some of the fabric from the cover, and it's just got a few bits of ephemera and notebook paper, and it is being coffee dyed as well. And then this paper, it's a graph paper that I got given from a school that was closing down, and it had been in the cupboard for nobody knows how many years, but it had quite a nice patina on, but I did coffee dye it in the end, and it turned so grungy. It's lovely, I love that. And again, some of the scrapbook paper that I had, I coffee dyed that as well. And then this is a nice little tuck, and this card I got from Berlin. They've got this great flea market there on a Sunday, and I think it's called Moor Park Flea Market, and they have some great ephemera. So yeah, this one's definitely one of my favourite pieces. Nice little flashcards for kids, and I'm going back to Berlin next year purely because I want to go back to that market. It's only an hour and a half away, isn't it? I've done quite a bit of stenciling through this book as well. And the middle of the signatures, again, if you've seen my other videos, I leave these just dangling. You could tie them in bows, you could put little dangles on, you could put little bits of ephemera on, and you know, I always think that it's a nice way for you to personalise the journal if you get it, so I leave them, they're just all lying there ready for you to do. And I haven't thread ended this book either, so there are bits of threads lying everywhere. Some people are really quite like that, so I've left it up to you, it's your choice. And just a nice little decoration there, and some more There's lots and lots of journaling space in this book, huge amounts. This is the other side of the handkerchief, and I've just used some Hessian ribbon there and popped in a couple of pieces of ephemera. And then this is a little flip, so it flips up to give you access to the page, and then the doily flips up to give you access to the index card. And then it's got some of this lovely fabric on. I love this fabric. I'm running out and I don't know where I got it from. This is another page from that book. It's a history through pictures. It's all about different customs and things like that. And again, I've put the napkin on that page. Love that effect, that texture. And this is more of the vintage music paper. Nice little lace tab. Some of the paper I've used in here is the copy paper, and some of it is watercolour paper. So the watercolour paper, you can tell it's quite a bit thicker and more sturdy. And this is a pocket I've made from the same fabric that I've used to cover the book. I wanted to make sure that there was a theme flowing through, and the book is actually a butterfly book. So a lot of the vintage ephemera is butterflies, but I wanted to use the same fabric as well because I thought that that will give it consistency as well. There's another of the vintage images and another index card. And then this is lovely handmade paper that I found in Hobbycraft, and I've just made a little fold out page with that. And I get my papers from everywhere, so. And this, oh, look at this little guy. He's a little joker, isn't he fantastic? So I've left him in. And this is another one of the parchment bags which I've just decorated with some coffee dyed lace and some trim. And it's actually glued on, so it's not going to come off. And then in there I've got an altered playing card and some little bits of ephemera for you to journal on. And I love these little pockets, they're just great. Can never have enough envelopes, I think. And then this is just a little tuck spot, like a little floating pocket with a, yeah, my brain today is not working, with a paper clip. And I've made a little flower out of the vintage book papers that I've used throughout as well. And then this is, I'm just going to pop that to the side. This is just a tea dyed envelope. There's nothing in this one, so it's free there for you to pop in what you want to pop in. So there's plenty of places for you to tuck your own bits and pieces. And then this is a piece of ephemera. It was actually big enough for me to be able to make it into a page, so I just popped that one in there. And this is a nice coffee dyed doily on I think it's a Patricia Viamonte. I hope I'm saying that right. Flip corner tuck. And I've left some of these cards in here just blank so that you can play with them and change them, alter them in which way you want. Some more stenciling. And these are little paper bags that I got. And this little tag opens so you can journal on that. And I have used a doily to create a little tuck spot for this floating pocket. This is I think it was on Gail Agostinelli's YouTube channel I saw the tutorial. I'll try and link it down below. Please forgive me if I don't, because I am new to YouTube and I'm just finding my way at the moment. So I haven't put loads of ephemera in this, just a little bit, and I've done some stamping on it as well. And I've put one of my little T-folded mandalas on. And it's just there for you to fill up with your own ephemera or your photos or your notes or whatever you want to put in it. And then I've used these banners to make a little tuck spot. And this envelope is made out of white rice paper, and it's got a little stamped image on there and a little stamped image on there. And then inside are just, again, I don't want to come out. There we go, another piece, another couple of pieces of ephemera, journaling cards, sorry. And then this, excuse me, this is just another piece of the ephemera, but how beautiful is that? And that's another journaling spot. and then some eyelash trim, and then the other side of that pocket. And then this is one of my journaling cards that I've made, and it's backed with some grid paper for you to write on. And this I get from, I'm going to do a shout out to a little vintage shop. It's actually a charity shop, it's a Help the Aged shop, and they have their own vintage floor. The second floor is all vintage, and they are fantastic, and the prices are really great, and I get a lot of my vintage linens and things there. And so if you know, it helps charity, it's really great. And these tickets that they use for the price tags, I've got tons of them and I love them, and I use them for my ephemera because I just think they're so cute. And you know, recycle, repurpose, it's the way it should be. This is the other side of the sack, and it's just got a little piece of ephemera that says enjoy life. Shouldn't we all? Again, some more of that scrapbook paper. I wish I could remember the name of the pack. Lots and lots of journaling space, lots of bits of ephemera. This is another one of those pieces of ephemera. I love this one. How beautiful is that? When I was looking for butterfly ephemera, this one came up and I couldn't help myself. And this is one of my fold away pages. I have done a tutorial on these if you want to pop across. You've got a nice big piece of journaling space there, and it just folds away, and you can pop that in anywhere to give you a little bit of extra space if you run out of room, or just as a secret journaling spot. Some more of this beautiful paper, and then another piece of the ephemera that I've used to make a little tuck spot, and again this one opens up. So there's lots and lots of journaling space in these guys. And then a nice fabric flip, again Gaelic Ostinelli, and this one is on some of that lace that's I've coffee dyed. Another of the pieces that turned out to be big enough for me to turn into a page, so I did some more edge punching. And this is a lovely coffee dyed envelope, and I've just popped in, I've done lots of stenciling on it, and it had quite a good patina from where I coffee dyed it, and then I've just popped in some bits of ephemera, and this one just opens up, and then this one's another piece of the butterfly ephemera, and some more note paper. I had some lovely little vintage notepads that I found when I was on one of my little hunts, so I've used them quite a lot in this one. And this is another one of the Patricia tuck pockets, and this just opens up. Lots of little secret journaling spots in this one, and that again is that little notepad that I've just coffee dyed. Another sack, and on this one I've made another tag with the vintage images. And on here we've got another one of those cards that just opens up, and then this is a gatefold. I'm going to do a tutorial on these, but I've just decoupaged it with a napkin, and then it just opens up in a gatefold, and then you just pop on. Oh, I'll tie that later. And then some more notebook paper. Isn't this one beautiful? This is from a 70s notebook, and it's called Popkin or something, I think. And then this is just another piece of ephemera that I've found in my stash. And then the other side of that pocket, I've used some textured paper, and it's got a little bit of glimmer on there as well, and it's backed with some coffee dyed paper, so you can write on the back of that. And then in this pocket, this is the other side of that envelope, I've put this. Now, I printed it on some vellum paper, and it's actually from the 1800s, I think, and it's a poem written by a young man to his lover, and it's a gorgeous poem, so that's something special for you to find if you buy the journal. And then again, butterflies throughout. Butterflies and flowers, because what butterflies don't like flowers. And lots more stenciling. And then this is another one of the handkerchiefs that I've used, and I've put some tea-dyed lace, and this is a Hessian trim, and some more ephemera, and then more of that vintage music paper, and lots more stenciling and all these lovely grungy coffee dyed papers. And these are pages from a Victorian book. These are the actual pages, I haven't scanned them. I wanted there to be a good amount of vintage ephemera in this. So these pages are from, I think they're from 1893, and just look at how bright and beautiful those images are. Aren't they gorgeous? The guy who was selling them had actually took the book apart, and when I got to the market there was only a few of the images left. I wish I'd gotten there sooner because I only managed to get a couple, but beautiful, aren't they? And then just a little bit of ephemera. It could be a tuck spot if you wanted it to, with a nice little piece of fabric. And a lot of the fabrics I use that are actually vintage fabrics, or little bits that I've found from markets and things. And here's some more of the fabric that I used on the cover with a nice leaf skeleton. Again, lots of strings if you want to keep them on. And the other side of that handkerchief, and this is I call this a shadow image. Now what I've done is that the napkins generally have 3 layers. The first layer is the print that you want, and then the layer on at the bottom is usually plain. The layer in the middle very often has a ghost image of the print, and I'm not sure if you can quite see it there, but you can just see the ghost image coming through. Some of the napkins don't have it, and some of them have really great ghost images, but I've put it on because 1, it gives you a great texture, and 2, you just get that ghost image over the top of the page. I like the image, but I just wanted it to have a little bit something else, and I've backed that one with paper for to journal onto as well. And then some tea-dyed lace, another one of these lovely envelopes, and this one actually folds out. There's nothing in it, so you can put in what you want. And then a little bit of vintage trim, and a little tiny bit of stamping. There's not much, but I had a lovely butterfly stamp. This is another one of those Victorian pages, and then again they're so vivid, the colours. Some more of the fabric that I used on the cover of the book, and some more of that Hobbycraft paper. And here's another paper flip with some nice lace. And then this I was going to turn into a pocket, but I've left it so that you can personalise it yourself. You just need to run a couple of beads of glue up, and you can have a little pocket in the centre if you want. I've put plenty of this music paper in because it's beautifully aged, and I quite love it. And in here you've got a little hidden pocket. The other side of that Victorian image. Lots more lace. Another tuck with some more ephemera. And then this butterfly is the same as the one on the front, just a little lace butterfly. Another one of the leaf skeletons. And then this is a green velvet. It's coming up quite dark on the camera. It's not quite that dark, it's lovely. And again, I've done the ghost image. Excuse my dog. He likes sitting with me while I'm crafting. Dexter, settle down, darling. He just likes telling me that the birds are in the garden. And this is a little, I've cut out the butterflies from lots of different types of paper. And then just lots of nice, interesting little bits for you to look through. There we go. And then this pocket has got another one of my favourite images in, and a blank coin envelope that you can personalise yourself. And again, the image there, the shadow image. And then the last page with a little fabric tip in. So, excuse me. So thank you very much for looking, and this will be on my Etsy store.